Ah, Minecraft. What a beautiful game. Endless possibilities, chickens, biomes, all kinds of resources and fun. Who else would want to play anything else? Well, me actually. But not necessarily a different game, just a bit more challenging version. I know what to do. I'll play Skyblock. But not normal Skyblock. Let's remove all the colors and then add 312 mods. Alright, so welcome to SkyFactory 5. As you can see, it's a lot different than original Minecraft Skyblock. We don't have water, we don't have lava, but we do have a task book, which is what you're seeing on your screen now. The main difference between SkyFactory 5 and Skyblock, as you can see, is there is no color, or at least for now. The goal of at least the first part of SkyFactory 5 is to obtain all colors. And the reason why that's important is first, A, for viewing experience, and B, is you need dyes to be able to craft certain materials. So for example, red, you need the color red dye to be able to craft redstone. And if you're wondering how I could possibly craft redstone with only one tree, a crafting table, and a couple of colorless planks, you don't know anything about SkyFactory 5. For this particular video, I'm going to be voicing over most of my gameplay, and that is because this is the first video I've ever recorded for YouTube, so I did not know how OBS worked, and I may or may not have recorded an extra audio source while recording this, but that's okay. The fun thing about SkyFactory 5 is it does start out very similarly to my regular Minecraft Skyblock. As you can see, I am using wooden slabs to expand my island, and that's so I can catch all these saplings, these colorless saplings. What you can do to speed up the progress, or at least of the early game, is watering cans. Watering cans help grow saplings, which is really great, so we can break this tree. And while collecting more saplings, I found a green apple, which means I now have unlocked the color green. This is going to be a big deal, not necessarily immediately because I don't utilize it very well, but later when I'm uncovering other colors. And another major benefit to SkyFactory is this task table. So I can place my task book there and now check off the discover green since I have green. And this age of discovery is kind of how you first get started. So we just checked off getting the sticks, and now we need to make a barrel. And to do that, we need colorless barrel blocks, since that's the only current planks that we have. Craft a slab and make a colorless barrel. With our colorless barrel, we can use items we got while cutting down trees, put it in the composter. As you can see, the compost progressed from 0 to 10. And while we wait to see what happens there. Now that our barrel is ready, we can walk over to it, right click, and brown has now been added to our palette. We can check that off in the task book and look at our brand new brown piece of dirt. Alright, and while I was trying to do the next advancement, eat dirt, I actually discovered that you could eat silkworms. I actually thought at the time while playing this that gave me nothing and it just said ew. Later, while editing this video, I actually realized you can see it in my inventory here that there is some white dye at the top of my row. So that's how I got white dye randomly, but it didn't unlock the color white. There's sometimes specific items you have to get to collect colors. And playing around with the brown dye here, but you can actually see another advancement ticked off, coloring a sapling. And the benefit of doing this is I can grow the sapling and now I get brown. Big shocker, brown sapling makes brown tree. Also, I've been placing these dirts quite close to each other because the watering can has a certain radius around it. So that just helps all the trees kind of grow faster, or at least one of them grow faster. Just a piece of advice if you ever play SkyFactory 5. Another thing special about the brown saplings is you get brown loot bags. So as you can see with the loot bag, I just unlocked a gateway pearl, which unlocks cows. You can fight the cows in the gateway pearl and unlock a statue that helps mobs spawn. Pretty interesting way to get mobs to spawn, but I kind of like it this way, so you don't just get random mobs on your island. You're specifically toggling them on and off with these statues. Right here, I'm going to be placing silkworms, which I got from breaking saplings, onto these white leaves. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to infest the leaves. I'm trying to get a bunch of silkworms on there. I guess I was feeling a little impatient while doing this earlier. But you see these, you can see at the top tag, these are now infested leaves. And when you break infested leaves, you get string, which string is the piece of white that you need to unlock the color white. So now I can use white dye recipes. Checking through our task progression book again. Now we need a crucible, and the point of getting a crucible is to be able to craft water. So what you do is you put a heat source near a crucible, and it'll melt saplings instead of composting saplings. And saplings in this game contain water, so with enough saplings I can get a bucket of water. You can right-click logs in this game to get template boards, and you can use the template boards on a campfire to obtain ash. And as it says that achievement book right there at the top right, you can dip this ash not only to unlock the color gray, but if you put it into 2x2, you can make cobblestone. Like all SkyFactories, the tool hammer is really important because you can take a piece of cobblestone and break it with a hammer to get gravel. And then you can break the gravel and it makes sand. This kind of gravel and sand system helps you get materials like iron and diamond and other SkyFactories. And however, it's not so simple in SkyFactory 5, as there's more of a color focus. Alright, and enough time has passed where we can collect our water. So blue has now been added to my palette. Speeding forward a little bit, I'm getting more template boards to make more ash, to make more cobble. And I can take sand and put it in a colored barrel to get clay. Once I collect the clay, I get the light blue palette. So that is another color down. Now we're working on the make lava in a fired crucible advancement. So again, I'm getting these cobbles via these template boards, and you can put the cobble above a heat source in a fired crucible, and it will begin to melt the cobblestone and make lava. I just thought this was too funny to not include. If you're wondering why I was burning there, it was because the bucket that I was using was wooden. Alright, now I kind of wanted to speed this clip up just to kind of show the process of getting light gray. So, light gray you would think is not a particular important color, because who thinks of the color light gray when they think of any colors even? But what you can do is you can melt cobblestone into stone, and put stone back in the furnace, which this is regular Minecraft Skyblock recipes. So the stone is going to make smooth stone. Smooth stone is light gray, so there is the light gray achievement. This is a big deal because now I can craft iron. And just to kind of show you this process, so I got light gray dye. Since I unlocked the color, made light gray saplings, and you can combine light gray in a 2x2 to make raw iron. Big deal. Now I can make all kinds of sorts of machines once I get the color red, because I'm still gonna need redstone. Does the campfire feel like a certain lot of
That's how I'm trying.
What? Ah! Oh my god. You're stinging me! Speeding forward here a little bit, this is a clip of me making the cobblestone generator finally. I got the lava from the crucible as discussed in an earlier clip, and so now I'm pretty much caught up back to at least Minecraft Skyblock. These next two clips are actually out of order. I just wanted to show how I was getting some of the next colors. So I'm breaking grass here via growing bone meal, very standard Minecraft stuff, collecting seeds. Special thing about SkyFactory is you can get all kinds of seeds by breaking grass. So right here I got a beetroot seed, which if you know what the color of beetroot is, you might be able to guess the next color I'm going to get. And I would argue that this is probably the third most important color in the entire game, at least for SkyFactory, and that is red. Alright, and going now a bit back in time here, so I used the seeds I got from the last clip, or at least in a similar manner. I couldn't have got them since that was in the future, but I'm using the watering can to grow the wheat seeds, and if you already had looked at the background of the last clip, you already know what the color I'm going to get here is. Obviously, it's going to be yellow, as wheat is yellow, so I can go ahead and cross that off. And I'm making really great progression in the coloring book. Alright, so here I'm trying to get the achievement of automating my cobblestone generation, and to do that, I'm crafting a block breaker, which requires copper. You can get copper via mixing orange and green dye. We got green dye at the very beginning of the game, and we got orange through lava, of course. And so right here is me just setting up a very simple automatic cobblestone generation, at least in the SkyFactory world, that is, or at least struggling to a little bit. We finally got the hopper down there. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to place our block breaker, incorrectly at first, but what the block breaker does is pretty self-explanatory in its name. It's kind of like the word waterfall. No need to explain anymore. You activate the non-redstone use, and it automatically breaks cobblestone. The hopper collects it, and now we have an infinite cobblestone generator. This is a really big deal because now I don't have to manually do stuff. So now we're getting towards the end of our coloring collection process. The colors we have remaining are lime, black, magenta, and purple. So to do those, I did a little bit of investigating in the not enough items recipe and found that you can combine yellow, orange, and brown dye to make eggplant seeds. A very popular Apple emoji for no particular reason. And here again is another clip of me watering canning another seed to get another color. So it seems like grass has really a really great way to get all kinds of colors. Just kind of admiring here how far we've come from the black and white. If you go back to the beginning of the video, I mean, very dull colors, and now, I mean, we're just full of life in this world. So now our goal is to get lime, and we want to do that by making seagrass. So we can bulk wash grass and through water and make seagrass. So we're starting to do that crafting recipe now. We need some andesite, some iron nuggets, and that'll get us the andesite alloys. The andesite alloys are good for crafting shafts as well as the andesite casing. And to get the andesite casing, again, this is how I'm getting through all these recipes. I'm looking at the recipe book, seeing what's required, and then crafting them. Even as someone who's played SkyFactory 1 through 4, I get a little confused sometimes about what the crafting recipe is actually saying. But it's all very self-explanatory as long as you read. The thing that I'm missing out here is that the log needs to be stripped. So right-clicking the andesite alloy on the stripped log gets me a casing. And then you can take the casing, the rod, and make a propeller by combining iron with an engineer's hammer, and putting an andesite alloy in the middle. Then our propeller, casing, and our shaft to make the fan, the encased fan. So that's going to help with that bulk washing process to get to the lime. Then, after finally figuring out how to orient this, because I can't make signs, which is kind of weird, throw grass in there. I got the grass from cutting in the shears, from cutting grass with a shear. As you can see, it has a kind of a particle effect, to indicate that the process is working. Bam, lime, seagrass. Probably the most complicated color to get out of all the ones so far. You can probably guess how I'm going to get pink at this point. So by killing a mushroom cow, they obviously drop a leather, but they more importantly for us drop raw meat, which is considered the pink color. And now we have quite a pink pony club background theme here. So that's pink. Now we just need magenta and black. Alright, and to get this black, I put this clip in here because I thought it was quite funny. I was very confused on how to get coal, and then I realized that I had never crafted charcoal. So that's why I was missing the color black. So kind of a funny color in the sense that I could have had it way, way, way long ago. I just never needed to craft it because they're colored torches, and it actually tells you that you can craft colored torches in the task book. So no need to make charcoal ever. So I just skipped over it, and there we go. We got the black, very easy. I thought I was gonna have to like make obsidian or something to get the black color, but charcoal will do just fine. And the last recipe I'm looking at here, I need black dye, green dye, and brown dye. So if I combine those three, I get onion seeds. And once again, I'm getting a color via growing a plant with my advanced watering can here. Kind of think this just goes to show that nature is very colorful. You can breed some very colorful and yummy vegetables. Starting to break the onion seed here, and according to the Minecraft Darkosto, or according to Minecraft SkyFactory, onions are magenta, even though I'm holding it and it doesn't look magenta. And now we are back to the normal colors. The rainbow is complete. The sky is now normal Minecraft. So yeah, and you can see we completed the challenge, all colors. So black, blue, brown, cyan, orange, everything throughout the video. I tried to show it all. I couldn't show everything because SkyFactory is kind of a process of like sitting and looking through not enough items, crafting recipe, and like slowly progressing through the book. But I tried to show the highlights. Next episode, what I will do is try to automate the process of making each individual die. As the mod pack kind of describes, it is in fact SkyFactory, and we've already got some automation, as you can see by the cobblestone generator. So thank you.